let's talk about asset protection. So a lot of clients have a concern that they might be sued someday. That feeling is most prevalent among clients who have professional liability. Examples are listed on the screen. They include doctors, attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, architects, anyone who, if they, let's say, have a bad day at work, make a mistake, they could be sued personally. Now, they likely have professional liability insurance, but there is always a concern. What if the insurance doesn't cover it? Or what if the damages exceed the insurance limitations? There are also business owners who might be asked to commit to large lines of credit or potential liabilities on behalf of the company. And business owners sometimes just get sued individually, even though the lawsuit might be eventually dismissed. It does provide some peace of mind knowing that some assets are certainly protected. And then the last category, just individuals who have a concern about asset protection. They want the peace of mind that assets, or at least a critical mass of assets, are protected. This is typically most common when individuals have brokerage accounts that are in the 500,000 plus range. So for these individuals, being sued and potentially losing assets is a concern. One of the ways we address this concern is with an Ohio legacy trust. Ohio Legacy Trust, as the name suggests, is specific to the state of Ohio. If you were to look this up for other states, it is typically referred to as a domestic asset protection trust. But the way it works is that the Ohio Legacy Trust is an irrevocable trust, meaning that once assets go in, there are restrictions on how those assets can be distributed going forward. Now, I'll talk later on about how to address the restrictions and make things a little bit more comfortable for clients. But first, let's start with the person who creates the trust. What can they receive after they put assets into this Ohio Legacy Trust? Well, once they put assets in, what the law says is they can receive all of the income annually. So, for example, if there is an account with stock, the dividends produced off of that stock. If there's real estate, it could be the rent produced by that real estate, and a business. If it owns a small business, it could be the profit produced by that business. They can also receive up to 5% of principal annually. So that would be in addition to the income. 5% of the assets within the trust could be distributed to the creator. They also retain the right to occupy any real estate that is held within the legacy trust. So this could be a primary residence, vacation home, but they could retain the right to continue to occupy that property, even though it is owned within this irrevocable legacy trust. And they can also retain the right to use tangible property. So that could mean if there are tangible assets within the home, that those also get transferred. It could mean that there is a classic car, which is only driven on special occasions, but you really want that to be a family heirloom that passes on, and you want it to be protected from creditors. Well, you could still drive the car while that car is owned by the legacy trust. Now, what do you get in exchange for limiting your assets, or rather your access to these assets within this irrevocable trust? Well, the benefit is that if there are future creditors, those future creditors cannot reach these assets. And this is a statutory standard. So those future creditors cannot reach the assets within legacy trust. And that provides a lot of peace of mind for many clients, because once the assets are in this trust, if you follow all the proper procedures, which we walk clients through, you're going to have creditor protection because it's established by statute. Now, some clients might think, well, Elliott, if I put a brokerage account into this trust, What if I wanted to buy a vacation home with those assets? Would I be able to do so, or would I not, because the assets are within the legacy trust? And you could take the proceeds from the sale of a vacation home and put it into an investment account, or an investment account used to purchase a vacation home. It has that level of flexibility, because if the assets are just changing from one investment to another, those are not distributions out of the trust. And then some clients might think, well, that's great, but what if I just want the assets to come out, to be put into my name, to be used for consumption? Or what if I wanted to use some of the assets to pay for my kids' tuition? What if tuition is more than income and 5%? What do we do in that case? Well, there is another benefit that we can build in to the legacy trust, and that is the ability to make discretionary distributions to other beneficiaries, meaning someone other than the creator. So if you're married, that could be your spouse, it could be children, it could be grandchildren. And the amount that can be distributed to those individuals can be structured with no limit, meaning, in effect, all of the assets within the legacy trust could be distributed to those individuals. Now, you might ask, well, what if one of those individuals is sued? If they could get unlimited distributions from this legacy trust, I mean, the last thing I would want is to create one for my creditor protection or the creator's creditor protection, and then a spouse to be sued, or a child to be sued, and the assets then accessible by that individual's creditors. Well, there's something else we can build into the legacy trust to prevent that as well. And that's the ability for the creator to veto distributions to those beneficiaries. So if any of those beneficiaries are ever sued, those future creditors of the beneficiaries cannot reach the asset within the legacy trust, because the creator has the power to veto distributions. And additionally, the creator has the power to veto distributions if the creator just doesn't want those individuals to receive a distribution. So it provides both creditor protection for the individual who creates the trust, the ability to receive income, 5% of principal, occupancy, and use of assets. It also provides the benefit of distributions to other beneficiaries, meaning spouse, children, grandchildren, and protection from the beneficiary's creditors in addition. So this is a really good device that provides both creditor protection for the one who creates the trust and the other beneficiaries of the trust. Now, I'll have other videos that cover some of the tax and other aspects related to the legacy trust. Thank you.